Hi, this is SOSF. Imagine an alarm clock that no longer rouses you for the office, but instead awakens you to a world without work. This is no longer a theoretical possibility debated in sandboxes, but the reality of 2077, a world thoroughly reshaped by artificial superintelligence, ASI. Every revolution in human history has redefined the meaning of being human, from the birth of language to the Industrial Revolution. Now, we are in the midst of the last revolution. In this new era, over 99% of human labor, both physical and intellectual, has become redundant. The extreme abundance of material production has made a universal basic provision, UBP system the cornerstone of social stability. Introduction. Dawn City, a world without work. Dawn City, a metropolis of 2077, is a microcosm of this last revolution. It operates with silent efficiency under the management of ASI, with nearly limitless energy and the marginal cost of most goods and services approaching zero. It is a spectacular world constructed by ASI, like a genie in a bottle of infinite power. Our protagonist, Sarah Chen, is a typical resident of this new world. She is a citizen of the post-functional class, neither an elite creator defining the future of society nor a completely lost anomic individual. Her daily life is a struggle to find personal meaning amidst material abundance and to cope with the unique challenges of this new world. The morning of 2077. Sarah awakens from an ASI customized dream assister. Her smart home system, based on her biometric data, has already prepared a perfectly nutritious meal. In this world, all necessities of life, housing, food, medical care, are provided free of charge through Universal Basic Services, UBS, a true reflection of a collectively cared-for citizen society. Sarah walks to the holographic window and gazes out. The morning streets are empty, as all traffic and logistics are managed by ASI with flawless efficiency. This perfect efficiency brings a subtle existential vacuum. When humans no longer need to strive for survival, the traditional rhythm scaffolding of life disappears, and people face an unprecedented amount of leisure time. Infinite leisure. A gift or a curse? Faced with this nearly infinite leisure time, Sarah is perplexed. Should she immediately dive into an ASI-assisted virtual reality to experience a realistic ascent of Mount Everest? Or should she quiet her mind and read an ancient text written by a human historian about the demise of the Protestant ethic in the post-work era? She opens her digital schedule and finds that some friends are actively participating in a collective awakening program, a nascent community. They seek a sense of authenticity by rejecting most digital services and returning to primitive community rituals and manual labor. Sarah is unsure whether this is a healthy reaction against human functional obsolescence or a meaningless resistance to a life of readily available perfection. Is the value of this authenticity market driven by internal desire or a new form of social pressure? 10:30 a.m. Sarah decides to immerse herself in an ASI customized inspiration space, hoping to complete a personal art project with ASI as her ultimate creative muse. ASI instantly visualizes her grandest ideas, making cultural production incredibly democratized, like a Cambrian explosion of creativity. However, just as she is enjoying this infinite possibility, a notification shatters her immersion, an invitation from a mind optimization corporation. It offers a deeply customized narrative therapy by ASI, promising to provide her with a pre-packaged life meaning and identity, the edge of nirvana, near-death experience narrative package, a way to seek a sense of weight in the lightness of being. Can the mind be customized by an algorithm? Sarah curiously clicks on the ad.
Do you feel an unbearable existential lightness, a longing to discover hardcore meaning through extreme challenges? This narrative package is precisely tailored by your personal ASI according to your deepest psychological spectrum, providing a series of high-fidelity, harmless near-death experience simulations. In a perfect virtual world, you will personally experience the weightlessness from a 10,000-meter freefall, the suffocation by the vacuum of space, and the disorientation of consciousness dissipating in quantum entanglement. These experiences will systematically strip away your perception of life's fragility, forcing you to confront the ultimate void of functional obsolescence and the limits of the human organism. Our goal is to ultimately reshape a meaning of life that is full of sense of weight, defined from within, and truly yours.
She suddenly feels a sense of unease. This feels like some kind of digital pacifier, not a tool for empowerment. This is the powerful allure of the meaning industry. Noon. Sarah has lunch with a friend in a shared space. Her friend is an emerging influence elite who has accumulated a vast amount of influence capital in the virtual world through ASI-assisted creative content. He talks about the latest mind-uploading experiments and how his transhumanist guild is pushing for accelerated human evolution. The friend's appearance has been optimized through genetic engineering, and his eyes gleam with the extraordinary intelligence brought by brain-computer interfaces, BCIs. Sarah feels a subtle sense of alienation. She belongs to Human 1.0, adhering to the unenhanced biological baseline. She can clearly feel the widening biological and cognitive chasm between the two types of humans, portending a speciation event. Evolve or be left behind. Her friend jokingly suggests that Sarah should also consider basic enhancement to keep up with the times. Otherwise, she might face the fate of being cared for by posthumans like a precious natural heritage. Afternoon. Sarah participates in a global citizen deliberation meeting facilitated by ASI. ASI simulates the socio-economic impacts of different policy options in real time, such as a hybrid model of Universal Basic Income, UBI, and Universal Basic Services, UBS. The clear, tamper-proof voting system makes democratic decision-making seem unprecedentedly efficient. However, during the discussion, a proponent of digital feudalism argues fiercely that ASI should be owned by a few giant tech corporations, who would act as platform lords providing the Universal Basic Provision, UBP, to ensure social stability and innovation. Sarah realizes that whoever gets to set the objective function of ASI holds the ultimate power. Sarah sees the comments section flooded with AI-generated content that perfectly mimics human emotions, attempting to sway public opinion. This alerts her again. Even the democratic process can be manipulated by algorithmic governance. True power is no longer about controlling the means of production like factories and land, but about controlling the information and experience ecosystem. Evening. Sarah chooses to go to an underground gathering of an empathy circle. Here, people with common interests resist the pervasive digital numbness through controlled discomfort, for example, collectively experiencing a mildly but persistently irritating noise exposure designed by humans in a specific acoustic room, or using low-power infrared lights to irradiate specific body parts to experience a brief, mild sensation of skin heat or irritation, all under strict safety protocols. It is a warm, small group of communal beings. But Sarah notices that nearby, other people are wearing virtual reality devices, immersed in an ASI customized digital hive. Though they are in the same room, they each live in highly personalized virtual realities and information cocoons, with almost no real-world interaction. Sarah wonders about her own choice. Is she to become a eudaimonic human, actively exploring and pursuing inner fulfillment, a hedonistic consumer, chasing ever-escalating pleasures, or a communal being, focusing on interpersonal relationships? Late at night, lying in bed, Sarah reflects on her day. She realizes that in the post-work era, human evolution is not predetermined but the cumulative result of countless choices. She, an ordinary individual, is also a participant in this last revolution that will define the future of humanity. When all external needs for survival are met, humanity will ultimately evolve into what it chooses to cherish. As she drifts off to sleep, Sarah wonders, tomorrow, should she continue working on the virtual art project tailored for her by ASI, enjoying a stress-free creation, or should she join the Collective Awakening Program community activity, which requires real effort and might even bring frustration? See you next time.